Let's go on a journey through the virtual crosshairs of history. Today, we're diving deep into the world of shooter games, a genre that has not only defined the landscape of gaming, but has also revolutionized the way we play and interact in digital realms. From pixelated beginnings to hyper-realistic battlegrounds, we're about to embark on an exploration of the games that have shaped this genre and their lasting impact on gaming culture. Make sure to bookmark this video and subscribe for future action gaming content, guides, and history video essays. I'm Caveman, and like many of you, I have spent countless hours with my eyes locked onto the screen, gripping my controller, immersed in intense action of shooter games. Whether it's navigating through demon-infested corridors, strategizing in tactical squad-based missions, or competing in esports arenas, shooter games have offered us an escape, a challenge, and a community. In this video essay, we're not just revisiting the games we loved and played, we're uncovering the evolution of the genre that has continually reinvented itself, pushing the boundaries of technology, storytelling, and competitive gameplay. From the groundbreaking Doom to the tactical depths of Counter-Strike, the intergalactic battles of Halo, the expansive worlds of Far Cry, and to the battle royales of Fortnite, PUBG, Apex Legends, and many other shooters that have led to modern day. Each title we discuss has contributed a unique chapter in the story of shooter games. But this isn't just a history lesson, it's a celebration of the games that have brought us together, tested our skills, and given us stories to tell. This video is for veterans and newcomers as we navigate the odyssey of FPS. This is an epic tale of history and the evolution of the shooter games. Ready to take aim at the past and blast through the present? Let's get started. Let's rewind and step into the early beginnings of the shooter games, where the foundations of this genre were laid. These are the games that not only captured our imaginations, but also set the standards for everything that followed. Our story begins in the corridors of hell with Doom, released in 1993. This game wasn't just a pioneer, it was a revolution. With its fast-paced gameplay, multiplayer mode, and modding capabilities, Doom became a cultural phenomenon, influencing countless games that came after. This is the oldest shooter game I personally have played. It was actually on a floppy disk, a time before even CDs existed. And I'm still younger than 40, so this tech was already pretty aged for me, but my stepdad had to show me the original one after he saw me playing Doom 3. He had to relive the nostalgia of the game. He then showed me many of the other classics, and it was surprising to learn how the shooter genre came to life. Wolfenstein 3D, often considered the grandfather of first-person shooters, laid the groundwork for 3D graphics in shooter games. Similarly, Quake brought us fully into a three-dimensional world with its dark fantasy setting and multiplayer arena combat. Doom may have not been the first, but it was so impactful that it has left an imprint on gamers, developers, and most importantly, investment firms. In the early days of the shooter genre, few names stood out as prominently as John Carmack, or the co-founder of id Software and lead programmer of the groundbreaking titles Doom and Wolfenstein 3D. Carmack's technical genius in graphics programming and engine development helped define the visual and technical standards of early first-person shooters. His commitment to open-source software, demonstrated when he released the source code for the Doom engine, also had a lasting impact on the gaming community. Carmack once said, "The best way to predict the future is to invent it." This ethos drove him to continually push the boundaries of what was possible in game development, laying the foundation for the entire genre, and he is still innovating today, however in the AI space, but still always pushing the boundaries. As the early classics began captivating audiences worldwide, finance and investment firms took notice. The success of these games demonstrated the potential for significant returns, leading to an increase in funding and resources for game developers. This financial influx played a crucial role in elevating the production quality and marketing reach of future titles, setting a new standard for the gaming industry. We turn our sights to GoldenEye 007 for the Nintendo 64, released in 1997. This game brought the shooter genre to the consoles with a bang. This was my first shooter. I still remember waking up for Christmas, and there was this big box, big old present, and it had the N64 in it, and it came with 2 games, Mario Kart and GoldenEye. Let's go! Now, that Christmas ignited my passion for gaming. 007 wasn't just about a single-player campaign. GoldenEye redefined multiplayer gaming, turning living rooms into battlegrounds for friends and family, and so did Mario Kart. I still have fond memories of making my mom rage when I beat her on Rainbow Road. But GoldenEye was so immersive, and battling against my parents and my sister led to so many laughs and strong emotions that action games just invoke, sometimes good and sometimes bad. But hey, at least we're feeling something. As we ventured into the new millennium, games like Half-Life and Unreal Tournament pushed the boundaries further. Half-Life combined shooting action with a captivating story, while Unreal Tournament offered a fast-paced, competitive experience. These games didn't just entertain us, they blazed a trail for the future of gaming. They introduced us to the world beyond our imagination and gameplay that was at once exhilarating and challenging. In the realm of third-person shooters, 2 games stand out for their groundbreaking impact: Tomb Raider and Resident Evil. Released in 1996, Tomb Raider introduced gamers to Lara Croft, an iconic character who had become a symbol of the genre. With its blend of action, exploration, and puzzle solving, Tomb Raider set a new standard for third-person adventure games. I can still remember turning that PlayStation on, excited to roll around and get immersed in this amazing content. And then in 2001, they made a movie out of it with Angelina Jolie, and it was just an incredible adaptation and is one of the first instances where a game was so successful, they made a movie out of it.
We can be partners.
You might try to kill me.
I'm not going to kill you.
I said you'd try.
And this was the first of many. Super Mario Bros. Was actually the first in 1993. It made it to the big screen, but it was poorly received by critics. I'm honestly surprised they even tried with the deep fantasy and lack of technology to properly represent the characters in the game. And I still need to watch the one that just came out last year, the 2023 one. Was it good? Like, let me know in the comments below if you thought it was good.
It's a pleasure to meet me. It's a pleasure to meet you.
That same year, Resident Evil redefined the survival horror genre. It combined third-person shooting with a chilling narrative and atmospheric setting, creating a tense and immersive experience. Even with the old-school graphics, these games already laid the groundwork for a video game that could inflict fear into the hearts of the players. Not to mention, this game has also led to several blockbuster movies over the years. These titles not only broadened the scope of shooter genre, but also demonstrated the potential for rich storytelling and character development in action games. Their influence is still felt in modern third-person shooters and action-adventure games today. The next game I want to talk about deserves special mention, and that is the Armored Core series. If you're subscribed and you've been following, you know we started this channel with AC6, so we are going to be spending a little bit of time there. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and click that button. Now, the original Armored Core, debuting in 1997, was the one that brought all that unique blend of a mech combat and customization to the gaming world. Players could build and pilot their own mechs, engaging in intense battles while exploring a variety of environments. The series stood out for its intricate customization options, allowing players to tailor their mechs to their playstyle. Armored Core not only expanded the boundaries of the shooter genre, but also paved the way for future games that combined shooting mechanics with deep customization and strategy. Its influence is evident in later mech-themed games and contributed to the rich tapestry of the shooter genre. This is a series that has consistently evolved, and they maximize on the gameplay mechanics. Not to mention, Armored Core 6 just received Action Game of the Year. It's incredible. As we reflect on these early classics, it's clear that these games were more than just games. They were milestones in a journey that would continue to evolve and expand. They were setting the stage for the countless innovations that would come, propelling the shooter genre forward. With the groundwork laid by these influential classics, the shooter genre was primed for a new era of evolution and expansion, but little did we know the best was yet to come, and it's evident by how these early games were always pushing the boundaries of what was technically possible at the time. These games, with their groundbreaking ambitions, were often limited by the hardware capabilities of their era. The desire for richer graphics, more expansive game worlds, and intricate gameplay led to a growing need for advanced graphics processing units, GPUs. The evolution of these early classics were intertwined with the progress in computers and console technology. Each leap in GPU performance enabled more sophisticated visual experiences and immersive gameplay designs. This interplay between game development and hardware innovation not only sparked the growth of the gaming industry, but also inspired developers to constantly explore new horizons in video game creation. As we move forward into the late 90s and early 2000s, a new era dawned in the world of shooter games. This was the era of online multiplayer, where the genre truly began to flex its muscles and show what it was capable of in a connected world. One of the most influential titles of this era was, and it still is today, Counter-Strike. Originally a mod for Half-Life, this quickly became a standalone phenomenon. Counter-Strike brought team-based tactics to the forefront, creating one of the most competitive scenes that is still thriving today. And now, I'm personally not a huge fan of Counter-Strike. It feels like you're camping, the time to kill is just too short, and I feel that it provides little outplayability. It just comes down to who gets the drop on the other first. I can never really get into it. Maybe I'm just bad at the game, I don't know. But what I will say, in my opinion, the game that has the most impact on this genre, Halo Combat Evolved. Launched in 2001, Halo wasn't just a game, it was a universe. It redefined what a shooter could be with its epic story, groundbreaking graphics, and of course, its legendary multiplayer. The addition of shields, a wide variety of unique weapons and vehicles made this genre explode, not to mention the best album in gaming history. Like, what? I still can hear the theme song today in my head. I specifically remember playing Halo 2 every single day. I would run home with 3 of my best friends, and we would immediately go to the basement, start up the Xbox, and we would literally scream, laugh, and curse at each other until we got yelled at by our parents. We didn't care. We risked getting soap put in our mouth, waking up our parents at 3 in the morning. We just played and played, running different game modes of shoddy snipes, energy swords, rocket launchers. Looking back, this was truly a period in my life where I think I laughed and just enjoyed life and friendship the most. Those friends are still people I can call up 20 years later, and we can laugh and relive the nostalgia of those games. Remember Reach, everyone. Remember Reach. As online gaming infrastructure improved, more titles entered the fray. You had Battlefield 1942 bringing large-scale battles to life, while Call of Duty started its ascent, eventually becoming a household name with its cinematic intensity and multiplayer prowess. And let's not forget Team Fortress 2, Valve's cartoonish yet deeply strategic take on the team-based shooter. With its unique classes and humorous style, it added a new dimension to multiplayer gaming. These games weren't just about shooting, they were about teamwork, strategy, and community. They brought players together from all over the world, forming friendships and rivalries that transcended the screen. As online multiplayer continued to grow, so did the variety of experiences it offered. From the tactical realism of Rainbow Six Siege to the cooperative zombie battles of Left 4 Dead, the online world of shooter games was rapidly expanding. This era set the stage for what was to come, proving that shooter games could not just create virtual playgrounds, but entire communities. And as we'll see, these communities would only grow larger and more diverse in the years to come. With the online multiplayer world flourishing, the shooter genre began to diversify and specialize, offering games with a wide array of experiences that went beyond traditional run-and-gun gameplay. This era saw the birth of games that changed the norms and brought new dimensions to the genre. Enter Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell and the Ghost Recon series. These games introduced gamers to the world of tactical espionage and squad-based tactics. Stealth, strategy, and careful planning became as important as quick reflexes. These two games really left an impact on me. The gameplay was just so immersive. It probably was a factor in why I joined the military. Sneaking around in Splinter Cell, I literally felt like a covert operative trying to complete my mission. In Ghost Recon, I felt like a squad leader ordering attacks and positions. I also felt the loss of a teammate when they got dropped. It was just such incredible games that really brought a sense of realism to the genre. In exploring the expansion, it's important to acknowledge other games like the Cabela's Hunting series, or just hunting games in general. Particularly, I remember playing Cabela's Dangerous Hunts, released by Activision. These games offered a unique take on the shooting experience, focusing on hunting rather than traditional combat. Dangerous Hunts, released back in 2003, stood out for its emphasis on realism and the survival elements. Players, we had to track and try and hunt down real dangerous animals, and it was challenging. It required both precision and strategy. The series expanded the scope of what shooter games were by introducing elements of wildlife tracking, ethical hunting, survival skills. I remember the fear and excitement of aiming down the sights at a bear, mountain lion, wolf, and many other dangerous animals. I knew that if I missed my shot, these animals would come and eat me. That was terrifying as a kid, demonstrating the genre's versatility and the ability to cater to a wide range of interests and themes. Meanwhile, you also had Medal of Honor and later Call of Duty, which brought historical battles to life, immersing players in the events of World War II and other global conflicts. These games combined historical accuracy with cinematic storytelling, offering a different kind of shooter experience. Medal of Honor Rising Sun was one I particularly enjoyed for its campaign. That first mission at Pearl Harbor was just incredible. I literally felt like I was being surprise attacked and everyone was mobilizing, and this was also my first time learning about World War II. And even though it was fictional and does not tell the story of both sides, it was something that I learned about world history. And then a few years later, I remember reflecting on the campaign as I was learning in history class. And honestly, after that, now I'm a history freak. I just watched this documentary on World War II in color. If you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix. Check it out. There are some really powerful scenes and some disturbing ones, but it gives you both sides of the story in unique ways. Anyways, moving on to Sniper Elite. And they expanded the realism by introducing bullet drop in 2005, which became commonplace in almost all modern day shooters. But it wasn't just about realism and history. You also had games like Far Cry, which took players to exotic locations and timelines, blending open world exploration and first person action. Each new installment pushed the boundaries of what a shooter could be. And let's not overlook Gears of War. With its cover-based shooting, epic narrative, cool reload function, it redefined what a third-person shooter could achieve. Its gritty, intense combat and larger-than-life characters made it an instant classic and had multiple scenes that could bring a grown man to tears. Cliff Bleszinski,
I'll allow it.
Also known as Cliffy B, played a pivotal role as the lead designer of Gears of War. Bleszinski was instrumental in popularizing the cover-based shooter mechanics that became a staple in many third-person shooters. His work on Gears of War brought a new level of cinema quality and emotional depth to the genre. Bleszinski's philosophy that games can be art, and his focus on creating memorable characters and dramatic storytelling influenced a generation of game designers. His innovative approach to game mechanics and narrative in Gears of War not only redefined the third-person shooters, but also demonstrated the potential for these games to deliver powerful, character-driven stories. As the genre continued to expand, so did the way that we experienced games. We now had Twitch with online streaming, we had esports events, and we had YouTubers doing tips and guides and video essays. It was just a new way to experience these amazing games. This era of diversification and specialization showed us the vast potential of shooter games. They could tell us powerful stories, create immersive worlds, and challenge us with intricate gameplay mechanics. The shooter genre was no longer just about shooting, it was about experiencing a universe in all its facets. Further into the 21st century, the shooter genre continued to evolve, blending all the other genres and embracing the latest gaming technology. One of the standout titles in this period was Borderlands, combining first-person shooting with role-playing game elements. It created a unique and addictive looter-shooter experience, and its distinctive art style and humorous writing set it apart from anything else in the genre. And then you had Portal and Portal 2. These games may not be traditional shooters, but they revolutionized how we could think about the genre and how you could combine it. It combined puzzle solving with first-person perspective, creating a fresh and intellectually stimulating experience. In the realm of multiplayer, games like Titanfall and Overwatch pushed the envelope. Titanfall merged fast-paced shooting with mech combat with one of the best campaigns ever made in Titanfall 2, while Overwatch introduced a colorful cast of characters, each with unique abilities, redefining team-based action and merging the MOBA and FPS genres, especially with the success we've seen in League of Legends from an esports scene. Then you had games like Rust and Ark Survival, which emerged in blending the survival elements with first-person shooting mechanics. Released in 2013 and 2015 respectively, these games challenged players to survive in these harsh open-world environments, gathering resources, crafting tools, and building shelters. Rust emphasized player versus player combat and resource management, creating a tense and often ruthless multiplayer experience. Ark Survival Evolved added a unique twist with its prehistoric setting and the ability to tame and ride dinosaurs. Both games expanded the shooter genre by incorporating these survival mechanics, creating experiences that were as much about strategic planning and resource management as they were about combat. More recently, we had the Battle Royale craze sweep the gaming world, and we still see it today with titles like PUBG, Fortnite, and Apex Legends dominating the scenes. These games brought together a massive number of players in a fight to be the last one standing, proving that the genre could still offer a new and exciting way to play. Apex Legends is personally my favorite shooter game, purely based off gameplay. It has the best combination of gunplay, movement, abilities, and the Battle Royale just ties it all together. This game keeps you engaged the entire time, and the sense of urgency causes every second to feel thrilling. I truly do not think there's a better shooter for competitive play. Unfortunately, there are just so many cheats and bug abusers, and that does go for all shooters, but I have seen it in Apex Legends, and it's just sad to see the aimbots and hackers ruining the fun for many of the other players. And it's a coding arms race that the developers usually lose. It's just not worth the ROI for them to keep up when players are willing to spend big money just to win at that game, even if it costs them an arm and a leg. Now, there's two other games that I want to talk about, which is Destiny 2 and The Division, and they've also made large impacts on the genre. These titles blended shooter mechanics with the MMO elements, creating vast shared worlds where players could team up for epic adventure, boss fights, and this era of modern evolution and the hybrid genres showed us that these possibilities for shooter games are almost endless. By blending elements from different genres and constantly innovating, the shooter genre has remained at the forefront of gaming, continually capturing the imagination of players around the world. Then we have the story-driven and immersive experiences. The shooter genre has placed a significant emphasis on these. These games are no longer just about the action. They're about transporting you out of your meat body into new narrative experiences that just take you to a new world. One of the flag bearers of this movement was the Uncharted series. While primarily an action-adventure game, its shooting mechanics were integral to the gameplay. Uncharted combined that cinematic storytelling with thrilling action, taking players on a journey across breathtaking landscapes and ancient mysteries. Then you had The Last of Us, basically a movie in its own, but it straddled the line between survival horror and a shooter. Its narrative depth and character development have set new standards for the storytelling in video games today. It's a powerful and emotional journey as much as it is a game, and now it's expanded into a very successful TV series. Then you had BioShock Infinite, another example where the narrative takes the center stage. Set in a fantastical floating city, it weaves a complex tale that delves into the themes of politics, religion, and identity, all while providing a compelling first-person shooter experience. Ken Levine's contributions became particularly influential as the creative director and writer of BioShock. Levine demonstrated how shooters could deliver complex stories in richly detailed worlds. His vision for BioShock combined engaging first-person gameplay with a narrative that explored profound themes, creating an experience that was both intellectually and emotionally compelling. Levine's approach to game design, where the world is the star, as he often put, changed how developers and players viewed the potential of shooters, showing that these games could be both thrilling and thought-provoking. And we can't talk about immersive experiences without mentioning Cyberpunk 2077. Despite its rocky start, and we know it was pretty bad, the game now offers a deep, rich world filled with narrative intricacies. It's a blend of RPG elements with first-person shooting, creating a truly immersive experience. As the shooter genre continues to evolve, the integration of narrative and immersive gameplay elements ensures that these games will always offer new experiences that are also emotionally engaging as they are thrilling. It's a testament to the versatility and the depth of the genre. As we continue this exploration, this journey through the shooter genre, we arrive at a pivotal aspect that has been growing exponential in the recent years, and that is the competitive scene and esports.
I want to be the back and forth between the box. What a shot on Simple! Oh, Guardian, bye-bye! Oh, he goes down 1 HP! Sun down what? On 1 HP, Zexro, you go!
Hal, he's gonna Wraith portal his way. It's gonna be a heal off to finish. Hal enters the portal. The other team does not have a Wraith, and TSM wins! TSM wins! Are you kidding me?
This is no longer just about gameplay and narrative experiences. This is a fully fledged spectator sport that can compete with modern day sports. One of the most influential games in shaping the esports landscape is Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or CSGO. Building on the legacy of its predecessors, CSGO has become a staple in competitive gaming, known for its intense matches and its passionate fan base. Similarly, you had Valorant, released by Riot Games, which also quickly became a phenomenon in the esports world, combining those precision shooting mechanics from like CSGO type game with unique character abilities that Riot is known for in League of Legends. It offers a fresh take on that tactical shooter genre in a competitive setting. Another title that has left a huge mark on esports is Overwatch, that has fostered a vibrant competitive scene of its own, complete with its own league and global following. The establishment of the Overwatch League marked a major development in esports financing, with a substantial investments from traditional sports team owners and business magnates. These investments were critical in setting up the league's infrastructure, including state-of-the-art venues and broadcasting capabilities. However, the entry into this elite league came with a steep price. I think it was up to $20 or $25 million. The franchising fees were just ridiculous, and that high cost of entry underscored the growing commercialization and professionalization of the esports, reflecting on the confidence of investors in that long-term viability and profitability of competitive gaming from way back in the day. These games are no longer just about thrilling experiences. They now open up opportunities for players to become professional gamers with entire careers built around their skill and passion for the games they play. Within the Battle Royale genre, you have Kyle Geiersdorf, known as Booga, which stands out as a remarkable figure. His ascent to fame came with his extraordinary win at the Fortnite World Cup Solo Finals in 2019 at just 16 years old.
Bow down to Booga! Doesn't even matter.
Booga dominated the competition and secured a life-changing $3 million prize, one of the largest in esports history. This victory was more than just a personal triumph. It was a monumentous event for the entire esports industry. Booga's success in Fortnite not only showcased his exceptional skill and strategic acumen, but also highlighted the potential for esports to change lives and create new icons in competitive gaming. His continued presence in the scene, including streaming and participating in high-level tournaments, represents the growing influence and professionalism of esports athletes. Booga's journey is a vivid illustration of the heights that can be reached in the world of shooter esports. Esports has transformed transformed the way that we view and interact with shooter games. It's no longer just about playing, it's about interacting with a community that values skill, strategy, and competition. As we approach the present day in our exploration of shooter games, it's clear that the genre is far from stagnant. Let's delve into the recent innovations and speculate on future trends that will shape the shooter games of tomorrow. In the realm of innovation, we have games like Escape from Tarkov, which has redefined what a shooter can be. Blending the elements of survival, RPG, and first-person shooting, it offers an intense, realistic experience that's as much about strategy and planning as it is about quick reflexes. These extraction shooters have the highest level of risk versus reward, where some items can be completely priceless and all-powerful, but if you get dropped, that loot will be passed on to another player. Another game on the horizon is Shrapnel, and it's building an extraction shooter as well, but it's trying to make its in-game assets tied to a marketplace where players can actually trade and buy them with real currency, increasing that sense of realism in the field and the potential for reward if you can find something that is truly valuable. Recently, we just had the early access of Palworld, which stands out as a notable example in my head. This game combines creature collection, survival, open world exploration, and shooter mechanics in a really interesting way where you embark on an adventure in a vast, vibrant world. You capture and battle with creatures, you have crafting and building, and you also have the gunfights and combat. This game blends the genres, and it's colorful, whimsical. Its art style sets it apart from traditional shooters. I think it will be a perfect combination that can attract those Fortnite and Pokemon players that may have aged a little bit, now they want something more mature. It has some mature themes in it if you've not played it. Now, Palworld represents this ongoing trend of genre hybridization, and it's showcasing how developers are going to continuously explore new ways to combine that different gameplay and create fresh and engaging experiences. Not to mention, Palworld's not trying to rob us. $30 for a game with this much content, quality, and fun is unheard of in the last few years. All right, we're covering a game that's $70. Had a 5-hour campaign. Come on. You also have these crypto games where you need $1,000 to get started for a pixelated POS. I mean, with that being said, there are some Web3 games that I'm tracking that may actually be good. I will drop a video in the future. Subscribe. They may just surprise you. Now, we also have virtual reality, which is starting to leave its mark on the genre as well. Titles like Half-Life Alyx have shown us the potential of VR, creating these immersive and interactive shooter experiences, taking player engagements to a whole new level. And as future trends, we see a growing emphasis on crossplay, allowing players to compete and cooperate regardless of what their chosen devices. This inclusivity broadens the community and brings players together like never before. Like, everyone is on Discord now, and if you're not, I would suggest hop in a Discord server. That's where you can really find a community to play with. There's also a trend of increasing integration of artificial intelligence or AI in game development. I imagine games will start being created faster and easier, freeing up resources to focus on more critical elements. At least that's my hope. There is the other possibility that they just push games out faster and even less finished. And we've seen that happen time and time again, especially in 2023, where a lot of these games, even the AAA games, came out with so many bugs. It was ridiculous. But AI has the potential to create more dynamic and responsive game environments, elevating the game experience to unprecedented heights. I truly believe games will continue to improve and expand. These games will just offer a higher level of immersion than any other activities we do, like movies or TV. I fully expect the industry to continue to grow and improve. And esports will also continue to influence the development of these shooter games, with designers sometimes focusing on creating titles that are not just fun to play, but are also engaging to watch. The spectator side of this gaming industry is growing even faster than the number of gamers out there. One game that I'm following right now is The Finals, and it's already left a great impression, and I'm very curious if it will gain the adoption and become a main esports title like some of the others. And this trend is leading to games that are designed from the ground up with competitive play in mind. Now, some people do find that, it's taking away from the fun, and there are these competitive games that end up just becoming such a grind, and you're more addicted to the competition than the fun, and we have to make sure that we're finding a balance there. But hey, if rank's there, I'm going to be playing. I know I'm there. That's what I'm trying to do in all these games. Let's not forget some of the other ongoing advancements. We also have graphics and physics engines that keep progressing. We can expect even more visually stunning and realistic games, blurring that line between virtual and reality. And if we look at unrecorded, this is basically real life footage. It's crazy. And then you add like VR, this is a simulator for the military that they're either going to use or they're already using for training. I know that they used to have some way back in the day. I was actually in the Marine Corps, and I tested out one of these, and it was terrible back in the day, but that was like 10 years ago. But anyways, as we bring our journey through history and evolution of the shooter games to a close, it's amazing to reflect on how the shooter genre has been a constant source of innovation, excitement, and community throughout this exploration. We have witnessed the birth of new gaming mechanics, the rise of multiplayer, the blending of genres, and the emergence of esports. We've seen how these games can tell powerful stories, create immersive worlds, and bring people together from all corners of the globe. I literally have friends in my Discord from Asia, Europe, North America, South America, like literally have every country, even countries that have VPN restricted access, like somehow they're getting out, and it's awesome. It really is. And whether you're a fan of the fast-paced action, the tactical gameplay, narrative-driven adventures, there's no denying that the impact of these shooter games have had on the gaming industry and us as players. They've challenged us, they've entertained us, and in many ways, they've shaped how we interact with games. As we look to the future, one thing is certain: the shooter genre will continue to evolve. New technology, player desires, and creative ideas will keep pushing the boundaries, ensuring that shooter games remain at the forefront of gaming innovation. So whether you're a veteran gamer who has witnessed these changes firsthand, or a newcomer just starting your journey, there's always something new and exciting on the horizon in the world of shooter games. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I will be doing more of these video essays on other action genres, mechanics, and more. Until next time, keep your sights on the future and keep on gaming. Please like, share, and subscribe to see more. Caveman logging off.